Welcome back to Creator Side Income. Today we have a special guest with us to talk about YouTube and a little bit of Amazon. Really excited to invite on Mercedes Gomez, who is someone that I've been following for a long time. We started around the same time with Amazon, but then she was smart enough to put up a YouTube channel pretty quickly talking about Amazon Influencer, and is really one of only 2 or 3 people that has consistently put out content on Amazon Influencer over the last 6 months. There are a lot of people who started channels and faded, a lot of people who would do just one single video, but Mercedes has been really consistent over the last 6 months. So Mercedes, tell us a little bit about just who you are and how you started getting into YouTube and Amazon in the first place.
Yeah, okay. So thank you so much, Tyler, for having me, first of all. But my name is Mercedes Gomez, and I run the YouTube channel Mercedes Gomez Now. I have a little background in like graphic design, all this like marketing. I had a corporate job. It just never fulfilled me. Honestly, my passion and my why in life, I knew for years, was to help people and motivate people and to teach people. And I just didn't know how I was going to do it, but I knew YouTube was going to be the best way for me to accomplish that. I just struggled with like, what niche, what am I going to talk about? Like, what is this channel going to be about where I can teach and motivate and just, fulfill myself? It's just so funny and ironic, but in the beginning of the year in January, I was listening to a podcast, and every time I start getting a little motivated to start a channel or start something, I would listen to the YouTube Creator Hub podcast. And back in January, this is so ironic, but you were on the podcast talking to Dustin about, the Amazon Influencer Program and all this stuff. And this was the first time I had ever heard about the Amazon Influencer Program. So, I just kind of took it, didn't do anything like really with it until I saw a Joshua Mayo YouTube video where he then talked about the Amazon Influencer Program again. And I was like, what is going on with this Amazon Influencer Program? Why have I seen it twice already? Like, is this my sign? Like, do I need to look into it? And sure enough, I looked into it. I don't know what it was. I immediately applied. It's funny, like with YouTube, I'm always trying to come up with this really cool YouTube channel name and this intro. Like, I'm trying to get ahead of myself, like create this big channel before I even start. And for some reason, I never ever started. But when this Amazon influencer thing happened, I applied and I just turned on my camera. I created a YouTube channel, Mercedes Gomez Now. It's the first thing that popped into my head. And I just recorded. And I recorded talking to people saying, like, I want to film my entire journey and I want to document it. And it starts now. Like, I didn't have any time to prepare. I'm just going to press record and start. And I want to show you guys the entire process, like what I went through from beginning to end. If I get denied, I get denied, but I'm going to show it all. And that's what I did. And so it's so funny that my YouTube channel started from like just random thoughts, just like going. Whenever I would try to think something through, it would never happen. But just spur of the moment type of thing is when everything actually took off for me.
2 things with that. That's crazy. One, that you are younger and you listen to podcasts, and that's unusual. So in the first place, kudos to listening to podcasts. I loved being on that show with Dusty Porter. He's a great host. Then the second thing is, I expected, again, because you're younger, that this would have been your 5th or 6th YouTube channel because you grew up with YouTube. Now, had you practiced with other channels? Had you uploaded other things to YouTube, or was this truly your first channel?
Okay, like I had a family vlog channel where I just like put videos up from my family vacations just to show my other family members, because it was hard to send that video through email or something. So I'd upload it to YouTube and send my family the link. So I had a little experience there. And then I worked with a small business in the past. And then I had a corporate retail job where I would upload YouTube videos for them. But really, like myself, I did not start a bunch of YouTube channels and have all this like practice doing it, because I was I'm an overthinker basically. So I would, like I said, try to come up with the perfect YouTube channel. And until I could come up with it, I wasn't going to just start it. And so that's why this, like the whole upbringing of this channel was just so crazy how it came about. And then back to your thing about podcasts, I'm trying to be better about podcasts. It's just when I have this motivation, I just feel like I need to listen and figure out how I can start something, start a business, start a YouTube channel. So I look to podcasts for that often.
So you were clearly looking to start a YouTube channel way back in January because you were already listening to podcasts and investigating that. But this being your first channel with an unknown audience, not family, not for work. This is someone where you didn't know how people were going to accept your videos, how quickly you'd grow, etc. Your channel did grow relatively quickly, considering that the niche that you selected is a really small one, right? there aren't any
Yeah.
big YouTube channels in this niche. What were some of the growing pains that you had early on as you uploaded your first few videos? What were the things that you wish you'd known then, or just the things that you struggled with?
You know, it's weird. I don't feel like I had too much struggles, but I know my channel is still really young and really small. So I feel like all of that is coming. But in the beginning, I just had no expectations. And so, 2 subscribers, 5 subscribers, 10 subscribers, like those were all great milestones for me. Like I was happy to achieve it. I need 100K, instantly. I was just like, wow, I got 1 subscriber. I'm surprised, and I just tried to make connections with each of those subscribers. And slowly it just kept building up. I would hit 100, 200. And on YouTube, the YouTube Creator Studio app, you know how they have, like, before you're monetized, they have these bars that you need to achieve. And I was just so excited every morning to check my Amazon influencer earnings and then go check my YouTube Studio, see how much my watch hours went up, how much my subscribers went up. And so there was not a whole lot of growing pains in the beginning. The main thing was just getting more comfortable in front of the camera. And I had read something in the past about, you suck, basically. It was like, you suck. The content you create today, you're going to look back no matter what and say that you suck. So you just have to get that out of the way and just make the content. And over time, I feel like my videos have gotten better, and I feel like I have gotten more comfortable in front of the camera, but that's just from embracing the suck and just starting.
Right. Yeah. Now, there are a few things that you did really well right out of the gate. So you did have more long form videos, and you've been pretty consistent with your length. And I'm sure that that's intentional. Your thumbnails have always been really clean. And I know people comment on those all the time. How do you create your thumbnails and stuff like that? How much of that did you decide before you did the channel, and how much of it was predetermined?
Yeah, so like my past working and uploading stuff for other people's channels, right, on YouTube, I knew thumbnails were pretty important. You wanted them to look pretty consistent so that people could recognize, oh, this is, your specific channel. So with my graphic design background, like I knew the thumbnail part was going to be pretty easy. I could make colorful, fun, interesting thumbnails. I figured I could do that. The time about how long my videos are now, that came with me just starting. Now, at first, I was thinking I needed to have shorter videos because I wanted people to watch longer, right? I wanted my percentage of people at the 30-second mark to be high. Like I wanted people to watch the full video. But when I came to the whole monetization thing and getting 4,000 watched hours, I thought about it for a second, and I was just like, the longer my videos are, I know I'm going to have certain people that are going to watch the whole video because they're interested in the Amazon influencer program. So the longer I make these videos, even if I just have a few people watching it, I felt like it was going to build up my watch hours quicker. And by recognizing that, that really, really helped me, because while a lot of other people were making shorter videos to get their percentage up and, their watch time or their watch percentage up, I was just making these longer videos and my percentage was low, but my watch hours was increasing like rapidly. And so that really helped me, because when I got monetized into YouTube, it only took me about 5 months to hit that watch hours. And for somebody just starting a YouTube channel who thought that getting monetized was almost impossible, achieving it in about 5 months was, it was a really good achievement to me.
Yeah, incredible. And I remember I was part of that journey because I was watching all your videos, and I remember as you got close, you even mentioned that, I'm getting close. And so you saw that last day as at least for the 1,000 subscribers, we're like, who wants to be the 1,000th subscriber? And there was a rush of people right there at the end subscribing. So that was really cool. Did you hit the 1,000 subscribers first, or did you hit the 4,000 hour watch time first?
Yeah, so I hit the 1,000 subscribers first. My first video came out like January 14th, and around May 14th, I had already hit the 1,000 subscribers. So I think that was like about 4 months in. And then it took like about 2 more weeks to get the 4,000 watched hours. So like June, very beginning of June, like June 4th, I think it was, I was monetized.
So it's interesting. I think a lot of people hit that 1,000 subscribers and the 4,000 watch hours around the same time, just like you did. I had the same experience with my review channel. And it's interesting that that happens. It's like YouTube knows what they're doing, right? But I also think it's because people like you who are locked into the analytics, you're like, all right, I need to do something to increase my watch time. And so it sounds like you made some intentional decisions to lengthen your videos. So again, YouTube knows what they're doing when it comes to that. As you look at your analytics now, what are the numbers that you care about? What are the things that you're thinking about as you're looking to improve your channel?
Honestly, ever since I've gotten monetized, I don't look at the analytics too much because, again, I don't like to set these high standards, because then when I get these achievements here and there, these small wins, I don't really celebrate them because I'm looking for these real big achievements. So it might sound a little bit weird, but I just look for what works. And in the beginning, what worked was making content on the Amazon Influencer Program. And in the beginning is also when I was trying to get monetized. So I was paying attention to that stuff there. And I figured, longer videos on the Amazon Influencer Program was like the perfect recipe to get monetized. And now I'm just trying to do what I want to talk about, like what I'm currently doing. I'm not looking necessarily for what's getting views. If I'm doing, Amazon merch, for instance, then I want to show that and be transparent. I just want to show my journey and be able to document it. So I'm not looking at a whole bunch of stats. I am pretty much looking at views, because you can easily see what videos are being viewed and what's not being viewed.
Right.
And for me on my channel currently, it's like if I don't post about the Amazon Influencer Program, I'm getting less views. So that is kind of, upsetting me, because I want to show so much more, but I know the viewers are here to watch the Amazon Influencer Program. So I am really trying to diversify because I don't want to be just attached to the Amazon Influencer Program.
We're going to talk about how you've diversified in just a minute, but let's go back to thinking about your first 6 months. So you're learning about YouTube as you're posting things. You're learning about the Amazon Influencer Program as you're posting things. Were there any particular YouTube channels or other resources that you were using at that time for your own education and thinking about how am I going to level up in these two areas? What were you watching early on in your journey?
That's funny that you asked that. The only video that I had saw early on in my journey was somebody, I think his channel was called like Creative Finance, and he does other YouTube channels. I don't even think he makes Amazon influencer content anymore, but that was the only video I saw when I started. And once I, knew about the Blue Lock and knew like the basic information about the Amazon Influencer Program, everything else was just on me. I learned everything on my own. I would look at the Amazon website, read through their stuff, and I would just make content. I really wasn't looking because there wasn't much to look at. There are people now, and I'm really good friends with the most people that talk about this stuff on YouTube, but we were all doing this at the exact same time that it was really hard to look at other people's stuff to learn and then follow in their footsteps. We were like all started at the exact same time, and it's so funny.
And I think that's really encouraging for people who are watching this right now thinking, I'd like to create a channel, or I have a small channel. How am I going to grow? Well, you were in a really small niche where there wasn't any content and not a lot of potential for viral videos or anything like that. And so you were going to have to grow slowly over time. Now, that slowly for you was actually a lot faster than it is for most people. 5 months to get monetized is pretty quick. And since you've monetized, you continue to grow pretty steadily. But as you mentioned earlier, you've now diversified a little bit. So talk a little bit about why you wanted to diversify. And I think around the same time, you quit your 9 to 5. And so we should talk about that too. What was the decision to go full-time as an entrepreneur and a content creator? And then what led to the decision to diversify?
Diversifying my content, the main reason that I want to do that is because I didn't really have intentions of starting this channel with just a focus on the Amazon Influencer Program, right? I just did that because I saw that's what was hot at the moment. I was getting views for it. I wanted to get my channel monetized, so I rolled with it. But over time, I do want to evolve. I want to show a lot more. Like I said in the beginning, my passion and my why is to help, teach, motivate. So however I can do that, I will do that, not just with the Amazon Influencer Program, right? So that's my goal. It's just a little bit tough because once you start a channel on a specific niche, it is hard to evolve, but I know it's possible. And I know everybody is not going to just do the Amazon Influencer Program forever. So there is a great opportunity here. The only advice that I really want to say is that you just have to start, because I could not have planned this just by writing in a notebook. Like the only way you can plan this is by actually doing it and figuring out what works. If you have a small channel, just keep posting different things, keep trying different things, and eventually you'll find it and you'll see, what you need to do and how you can get monetized or whatever your goal is. Now, the whole thing about my 9 to 5 is I've really been the type of person that I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be self-employed. Like I want to do things that fulfill me. And a 9 to 5 job, a corporate job, has never fulfilled me ever. So I am really known for always leaving my job. If I have an idea or if something comes up, I'm not scared to leave my job. I have a 4-year college degree, which I can fall back on. And so I feel like, if anything ever happens, I can go look for another job. I am not going to be tied down to a job and, have regret in the future that I didn't execute on the Amazon influencer program or I didn't execute on YouTube, because I know those things could take me further than any 9-to-5 job could. And it also fulfills me. It makes me happy. It makes me feel the most creative and the most passionate and feels like I have purpose, right? A 9-to-5 job didn't do that for me. So there's no doubt once this stuff started rolling and I started feeling like if I worked on this full time, I could take it to levels that I never thought possible. It didn't take me long before I had quit my job, turned in a resignation letter and left. I just don't want to have that regret.
Any of my students who are watching this, stay in school and get your 4-year degree. I think, Mercedes, what you're doing is becoming increasingly common, where people want to have freedom over their own schedule. They want to be their own boss. They want to be able to dictate their own raises. Instead of getting a 2% raise, it's nice to get a 100% raise, right? However, there are a lot of difficulties of being a full-time entrepreneur. You don't have anyone checking up on you. You don't have anyone saying get to work or things like that.
Yep.
What have been the most difficult challenges that you faced as you've gone full-time in this?
You know what? I guess since I have done this so much, you kind of learn, over time. I have quit my job in the past, and then I picked up bad habits, had bad routines where I was sleeping in, being real lazy. And I told myself, oh, you got to grow something so that you never have to go back to work. And then I sleep till noon. I have done that. And then I had to go back to the corporate job, go back to corporate life. And then the same cycle has happened. And over time, I have just learned and evolved and put myself on a strict schedule. And I know that I need to work. And the thing is, right when I was quitting this job, I had a part-time job, a full-time corporate 40-hour-a-week salary job. I was doing the Amazon influencer program. I was trying to write a blog. I was trying to do this YouTube channel and get it monetized. And on top of a lot of other, just life stuff. And I was extremely exhausted. I was working every hour I could. I was working on something. And then I would just sleep and just repeat. What that taught me was that you can do so much. You really can. You can work, you can do your side hustles. It's just all in your head, and it's all just about the schedule that you set for yourself. If you are somebody who only has one job and then you come home and you're tired, then that's just how it's going to be. If you have that one job and you come home and you get into the habit of doing a side hustle after, then that becomes kind of like the new norm. You figure it out. It starts becoming the new normal for you, and it's a new routine, and you can do it. And so by adding all this stuff for me, it just made me think like, okay, doing a full-time job, a part-time job, the Amazon influencer and YouTube, like if you quit that job, you need to add more stuff on your plate, because that's not enough to keep you busy. And if you're not busy, then you're going to get lazy again. You're going to slack off. You're not going to make enough money to pay all the bills. And so I just have to keep adding stuff onto my plate and staying as busy as possible. And I'm there right now. I'm super busy.
No, you're definitely keeping busy.
Yeah. And that's the biggest key. Like staying busy, not having any downtime has really helped me. And it does also make me feel good, because I feel like I'm using all my time as wisely as I can.
Yeah. And it really is a fine balance. I mean, as someone who is still in the kind of in the 9-to-5, my teaching schedule varies, but working 60 hours a week for a job and then having all these side hustles, I totally get what you're going through, because I've done that for 30 years. And it does get easier. You get better at time management, but as a full-time entrepreneur, you have those same challenges. It's still about time management and doing the things that give you the biggest return on your time investment. And I think you've done a pretty masterful job with that. It's been fun to follow your journey. As you've grown, you get new problems, right? And we've seen that this week as some of the trolls have come out. I think as an online creator and as a public persona, you're open to scrutiny, but I think you also have people who celebrate your successes with you as well. Can you talk about some of your favorite things about having a YouTube channel and having an audience that's super engaged with you? I mean, you're responding to every comment. So talk about that, and then we'll talk about some of the pitfalls of being an influencer as well.
Yeah, of course. So the pros are amazing. Like I've mentioned throughout this video, my passion and my why is to help and to motivate, right? So that is definitely the pro that's come with this. And that's why I respond to every comment. That's also why I even offer a 100% free, like 30-minute call on Wednesdays. I have something called Happy Hour where I'm just willing to talk to people, like however I can help you, 30 minutes, I am willing to do that. So I absolutely love motivating people, getting all of those nice comments. That is the best part about all of this, right? But yes, as you saw this week, I have experienced some of those trolls. The thing about the Amazon Influencer Program is that there's so many unknowns. There's a lot of people that feel threatened. There's a lot of people that don't want Amazon influencer information out there on the internet. When I first started, a lot of people were mad saying, like, why are you teaching people about the Amazon Influencer Program? That's just going to be less money for us. And I'm just thinking, like, that is the wrong way to look at this. Don't look at it that way. Just go make your money, make the reviews that you can, and we're all gonna kind of win in the program. It is what it is.
So I want to talk about the future of your channel because you are starting to diversify. You've had some videos out about Turo and other things that you've created. What are the projects that you're working on now? Is there anything you're really excited about, or is it just trying everything?
Yeah, I am excited about a few things. I really just want to start creating more short form content, see what that can do for me. I really am thinking hard about doing a 30-day challenge where I create like a short form piece of content every single day. I am really rocking with the whole James Corden thing where he had the carpool karaoke, spill your guts, all these different themed playlists basically of different kind of, I guess, content to bring in different kind of audiences. I did a really cool video about a day in the life of an Amazon influencer. It was like a vlog type video. I got to be really creative and cinematic in that video compared to just my talking head videos that I normally do. It got a lot of interest. So that has me thinking. I'm trying to figure out how to be more creative and express that in my videos, but I'm also, as you can see, like I can talk a lot. That came after I started reviewing products. People are telling me I have the gift of gab, and it's mind blowing to me because I used to be the most shy, quiet person. I don't like to talk, especially if I feel uncomfortable. And most people feel uncomfortable in front of the camera. So being able to talk like this, I really do feel like it's the easiest way and best way for me to get information across and to teach people. So talking head videos have really worked for me. I enjoy it too because I don't have to do a whole lot of editing. And so these are quick for me. I just talk, take out some of the mistakes that I make and then publish it. As much as I like talking head content, I want to be a little bit more cinematic, make a little bit more cool videos. I want to expand my personal brand, be more motivational, show more like transparency about things that I'm working on. Those types of videos are really hard for me to do. Like I'll start, creating a blog, and it's really hard for me to screen record the whole thing and talk through it and show people I'm making a blog. Or I will say, like, I tried to do Amazon merch about 2 months ago. And then originally I was denied. And then randomly, like 2 weeks later, I got an approval email. So it's really hard for me to film all this content when it's happening so like sporadically. When it first happened, I did start filming. I picked up the camera to show that I was applying into the Amazon merch program. And then because I got denied, I just shut it all down because I was just like, there's nothing more that I can do here. But then getting approved and now working on Amazon merch, like, I wish I would have been filming the whole time. So a lot of that stuff is kind of hard to show and be transparent about, but I feel like that's what I want to do.
Well, and for those of you who are watching this, if you haven't been to Mercedes' channel yet, you should head over to their Mercedes Gomez now and subscribe because she is transparent and she's really vulnerable with not just her successes, but things that aren't going so well. And I love that, being part of that journey as you try new things out and they don't go so well. I've learned a lot from those videos as well. And so it's been really cool to see your journey. I love that you're getting more into the cinematic now and developing as a filmmaker. I think you're experiencing what most people do, which is you film tons of stuff and you use like 5% of it, but you're figuring out what works and what you can use. And so it's been really cool to see your journey.
No, I appreciate that a lot. I really do think being transparent about everything is the best way to go about this because a lot of people film themselves once they've already made it. And so it's really hard to see the whole, like the ups and the downs. So if I end up having to go back to a corporate job because I'm not making enough money full time with all this stuff, then I will film that. And I want to show that because I want to show how many times it has taken me to get to this point. This is not the first time I've gone all in on something. So if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But like I said earlier, I don't want that regret to follow me.
Well, Mercedes, I really appreciate your time this morning. I'm excited to share this and get people over to your channel. It's one that I'm pretty faithful in watching your new videos, and I'm glad that you're consistent with that. If people want to follow you, remind us what your channel is, and if you have any social media handles that you want to direct people to, let us know about that as well.
Yes, so you can find me on YouTube at Mercedes Gomez now, and then the same exact thing for Instagram. Those are the two things that I'm on currently. Once I start posting more on like TikTok or Twitter, I will put all that out there as well. But Instagram and YouTube at Mercedes Gomez now.
Thanks a lot, Mercedes.
Thank you.